Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Film Optics review. And today we are going to take a deep dive into the new streaming platform, Quibi. I'm your host, Christian, and joining me, as always, is my co host, Devin. How are you doing today, man? Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. I'm
Happy
looking
Easter.
forward to Tiger King rising from the dead, I guess.
I mean, he's still in jail, so it's kind of like he's dead, but he's not. He's just not a part of normal society. But
I wonder
it is what it is.
is that a little episode out already or is it coming out later?
I have not checked yet. I'm actually currently watching The Prince of Egypt because I love that movie so much, and it was like $5 at Best Buy. There's like a really big sale going on at Best Buy, by the way. Like literally, almost you sent me that link through Twitter. Pretty much every single like Disney owned property, all their steel books are on sale. I think the cheapest one I saw was like Frozen, the steelbook, the first one for like $12, $13, but Disney never goes below $10 for like any of their properties. So a lot of them are at $20, $15. So I haven't picked those out. But DreamWorks is also having a really big sale. And I actually am thinking about picking up the Shrek trilogy because why not? It's Shrek. But how's your weekend been, man? Just been chugging along, playing some was it Astroneer? No, not Astroneer. No Man's Sky.
Yes, we have others more than me, but
Yeah.
it's been interesting.
Yeah, I definitely have to check that out. Like I said before, I've been playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. I like it a lot. It ropes you in straight to the story. There's a few side quests I can deal without that really don't add anything to the story, but I'm enjoying it so far. Got it for like $40 because I pre-ordered it like forever ago, so I didn't have to pay 60 like everybody else.
Just wait until you get to use that new PS5 controller with it. So
Ugh,
exciting.
God. I mean, I don't understand why. Like, this is like one of the most polarizing um controllers. But like, I mean, there's always been some kind of weird reaction. Like I've said, like I like the design. I do wish the thumbsticks were offset, like the Switch Pro controller and the Xbox controller, because I feel like it's a little bit more natural. And Alana Pierce was actually saying that she read an article how it's more your brain, it's more of a natural fit for your, easier to control the camera and your the character that you're playing. But I don't know, I digress. It's all right. But as I said before, we are going to be reviewing the streaming platform Quibi. And before we begin today's review, you can listen to this podcast on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, Google Music, Anchor, Podbean, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio. So yeah, we're pretty much going to be breaking down this review. We have, the features,
Should maybe we
content.
should release the review in Quibi's 5 to 10 minute podcasts.
You know what?
A
Let's.
Quibi review of Quibis.
It's we'll record it all at once, like we're doing now, and then we'll just chop it up. Into we'll throughout the week.
One every day.
One every day. I know, every day, man, every day. I swear. I thought it was once per week. I'm like, oh, that's nice, but I guess it makes more sense to do it once
Except
per day.
weekends, apparently. I haven't seen anything this weekend new.
Yeah, I haven't either. I watched all of Chrissy's Court. So that was pretty cool. But for anyone who doesn't know what Quibi is out there, Quibi is a new streaming platform, as we mentioned before. It is subscription based. It's designed to deliver short form scripted and unscripted content for your cell phone only. So the name mashes up the word quick and bytes, hence the word Quibi. And
it was really smart of them to make Quibi like a word, like a noun. Like, oh, just take Quibi. Like those commercials were really effective, I would say.
I actually saw a Quibi commercial while I was watching Quibi.
Yeah, I saw a few of those.
was I saw the Charmin one. He's like, "I'll be out in a Quibi." I was like, "Oh, okay, well, maybe a few Quibis." I was like, "Wow, this is a toilet paper commercial that
They're like,
Quibi.
they're trying to go the Google route, just creating a word.
Yeah, and Hulu as well, because the word Hulu actually has no um, dictionary definition. It's just Hulu. I looked it up like a few years ago. I'm not sure if that's changed since then, but last time I checked, it has no real meaning. Well, at least Quibi does.
Yeah.
But yeah, which is really cool. And again, everyone, for Quibi episodes, shows will run roughly between 7 to 10 minutes, no more than 10 minutes each episode, which is really really nice. So we're, like I said before, we're going to be doing like a full breakdown of it. We're going to cover like the features, the content, the pricing, and we have our own. Well, I created a few on of our little sets of questions, and of course, we'll be talking about the show, the user face accessibility, things of that nature. So I guess we'll just get straight into. Let's just do the features really quick. I did put a link in this Google Doc thing as well, just to kind of give us more answers, because the template I made was kind of weird. But so do you want to tackle the features really quick, Devin, and then we'll kind of just go from there?
Yeah, I guess mobile only seems like a pretty big one. It seems like it could be controversial because I think I would have liked to pull it up on the big screen at some point. Like some of the things I was watching, I was like, oh, it'd be cool to see on a big screen, but just couldn't do it, which I guess could be annoying for people who are interested. I don't know what you think about that.
So for me, because at first I didn't realize it was mobile only, because there was one day when I was sitting here and I think my phone was charging. I think it was at like 5% or something like that, and I was watching Survive, and I kind of wanted to catch up on a few of the episodes, and I like it for the most part. Pretty much, it's dragging a little bit, but I looked online. I grabbed my laptop, and yeah, it's mobile only. Like you said, it can be a hindrance from for some people, but I get what they're going for, because I mean, there technically is a way I could have watched it. Like I could have watched it on my big screen TV, because my I have like an Apple TV, and that allows me to like AirPlay whatever is on my iPhone, and mirror it what's to what's on my TV. So technically I could have pulled it up there, but that drains your battery like a lot. And is it really worth it for like 7 to 10 minutes? That's another question we would have to ask ourselves. But um at the same time, it would be nice to kind of have that, because even, I mean, think about the YouTube videos that we watch. A lot of them, majority of them, I would say, if you're watching like a quick review of like someone's thoughts about a movie or a game or a film, TV show, whatever it may be, a lot of those reviews or are maybe like what, 12, 13 minutes. Sometimes they're 10 minutes or less. So it's kind of like YouTube, but for TV, kind of. These are things that you can easily watch on YouTube, and I know that. Oh my gosh, let me explain video. I'm
Yeah,
not sure if
I was just gonna bring that up. He called it "rich person's YouTube," which I think is just
yeah,
the perfect
what,
description.
yeah, yeah, rich person's YouTube, which is, yeah, I couldn't agree more there. So I guess so, and again, with this being mobile streaming only, there's two ways that you can view these excuse me, these shows, and that's the portrait or landscape. Now, I don't know who's watching. I don't know who's watching this content in portrait. Are you watching it in portrait? Because I'm watching it in landscape.
No, I do like how fluid it is though. Like on YouTube, it's annoying to switch back and forth because sometimes it doesn't work, but here it really is smooth.
Yeah. And I will say I did try out portrait mode for some shows, especially um Chrissy's Courts. I will say in landscape, not in landscape, I'm sorry, in portrait mode. For anyone who doesn't know portrait mode, it's just the way that you normally would hold your phone. Landscape is, sideways, widescreen. It kind of worked there, because you're in a courtroom, and it it focuses on that one character or person who's talking, so you do get their full body essentially, minus the sides cutting off. But when they're showing like a wide shot of the entire courtroom, then that's when it becomes a problem. So I feel like it is a little bit easier just to watch things in landscape as well. But I mean, it is interesting, and I do agree with you when it comes to the fluid back and forth motion between portrait and landscape. Um, it's kind of like they zoom in a little bit for portrait, well, especially for some shows I kind of noticed, but it is a nice transition for sure. But um and also so did you want to take the next few points, and then we'll kind of just go back and forth
Yeah,
for features and contents.
we mentioned there's new episodes every week, and seems like every weekday. And then they do movies in chapters, which I don't know if I'm a fan of. I mean, it makes sense to do it for shows, but for the movies, it just feels like an excuse to get an ad every 10 minutes, which is what they're basically doing. Because if the movie's like 2 hours long and you have an ad every 10 minutes, it's like 12 ads and a lot of money for them.
Right. So I'm trying to figure out for the movies and chapters, because shows like for like Survive or what's the world's most dangerous game, like
Yeah, Most
are those
Dangerous Game and
considered
Survive. Yeah, those are
huh?
considered movies.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that considered an actual movie or is it considered an actual show? Because it seems that once this quote unquote full movie comes out, you can just, I mean, I promise you, someone out there is going to just cut it to where it's just one fluid movie. But I feel like they shoot it to where purposely, every what 8 to 10, 7 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, the way they
There's
shoot it, it makes sense, but it just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right.
So I have a question. So do you think that the Irishman would have done well in Quibi in Quibi form, or
That's a lot of Quibbies.
oh my, that would be seasons, at least what, two and a half, maybe 3 seasons, because that's what 3.5 hours. Oh no, that's at least five. That's at least a 5 season. The Irishman. But I really want them to bring this to like watches as well.
Like Apple
'Cause
Watches?
yeah, like Apple Watch. Oh, I'll be on the Quibi. Like you're out and about, your phone dies. Well, I won't watch a Quibi. Like, why not? I feel like the screen is just big enough if you get like the bigger version of the of the Apple Watch. It's happened before. I've literally seen people look through entire PDF files on their Apple Watches. But so moving on here, excuse me. So the company actually plans to spend about 1.1 billion dollars on commissioning original content within the first year, and this kind of totals to about uh 8,500 short form episodes, and including about around 175 shows, which is pretty interesting, I think. But for people out there who are looking for this kind of content, well, like, do you think, like, I guess, well, what type of people do you think they're trying to market to? Because I know that, what was it? It was the two creators of Quibi, or a few of the creators of Quibi. They have pretty big backstory as well. Between the Katzenberg is the project's founder, and former eBay and Hewlett Packard boss Meg Whitman is also behind this. So these are really big people,
Yeah.
behind this new form. But like, I guess my question is to you, like, who do you think this is marketing to? Like, what type of film fan or TV watcher?
I think their strategy is pretty obvious. They're just trying to get as many stars as possible and then hope that the stars that they get draw in people that are fans of those stars. Um, which I guess could work because obviously, if you're a big fan of, say, Chrissy Teigen, you see she has a new show out on here, you're probably gonna go watch it. And you can say that with all the other celebrities that are already on here and will be on here.
Yeah, that is true. And so I'm trying to think, because between we see a lot of big stars on Apple TV Plus as well with their streaming service. And we've been through the ringer before. You have the old reliables like Hulu and Netflix, but I think this is the biggest time that we've seen a lot of these streaming services are coming into the fray, throwing their hat into the ring, especially with Disney Plus. We talked about that. We covered Disney Plus when it first came out, and we kind of mentioned it within our past news show that this new original content is always important. But I feel like, let's say like Apple TV does have some pretty good shows on there if you're willing to try it out and kind of actually go through to see what else is on their platform, minus like the T3 shows that they always promote. But I guess I'm wondering, will Quibi have the legs to stand within this race when it comes to content? Because we've seen with Disney Plus, they have their original content, and then they have all their legacy titles, all of their pretty much their entire backlog. But as we said before, if Disney Plus came out with only their new content worth amount of shows, would it still have the same legs? And it probably wouldn't. But I wonder if Quibi having the game plan that they have for new episodes like pretty much every single day come out, do you think they're eventually going to burn out? Or I don't know, it seems like a lot, but I don't know, I just wanted to get your thoughts about that.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have to keep up that pace if they want to try to stay in the race because people need content, and Disney, or I should say, Apple TV Plus isn't really offering much content, not consistently at least. So Quibi needs to keep up with new things like constantly.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. And like you say, with the stars, like this is probably one of the most like jam packed like streaming services I've seen with like
Yeah, that's the thing
stars
that
across the
initially like
board.
drew us in. We were like, "Whoa, this could be legit because there's actually stars attached."
Right. Yeah. I mean,
But I
this
could also see a negative to that because it seems like they're focusing more on star power than actually storytelling.
Right. Yeah, and that was another point I was thinking of, like how, like when, like what will these stories or will these shows stick? What will any of these become like a really big phenomenon? We've had shows, like Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, Ozark is another one. The third season just came out. I've yet to check it out, but I hear it's very, very good. And there's been so many other shows, Sopranos, and so I know going back to the Let Me Explain, his YouTube channel, when he was covering Quibi and his review, I believe it was Katzenberg. What is his first name? Jeffrey Katzenberg. He was saying that how HBO has it to where it's not TV, it's HBO, which it's supposed to make you feel like you're watching something other than TV, even though at the end of the day it is a TV show. But the budget of these shows are so high that it makes it feel like you're just watching this it's amazing like feature length film that's cut up into episodes. But with Quibi, he Katzenberg kind of wants to do the same thing when it comes to within a few years down the line. He had said in an interview that he wants Quibi to stick around and to become a new form of entertainment. It is interesting though. I don't know, but let's get into the pricing really quick, and then we'll give our thoughts of what we've been watching and like our favorite shows and what have you. But the pricing for now, an ad supported subscription to Quibi costs $4.99 per month, and there's an ad free subscription that will set you back around $7.99. Quibi says there'll be roughly about 2.5 minutes of advertisement per hour of content. Now, we both have the ad support subscription.
Yes.
And we were kind of talking about it on we were texting about it back and forth, and I had thought, when they said ad support, there's going to be multiple ads within a 10-minute span. It seems like there's only one, and that's at
And
the
it's
very
like
beginning.
10 to 15 seconds.
Yeah, especially the ones I've been getting. I think they've been honestly 10 seconds or less, maybe 12, 13. seconds, and honestly, they go by so fast. It's just you don't really notice it, which is a really good point that you have brought up. We were
And we should
talking
also
about it.
mention that we got the free 90-day trial, which seems absurd,
Right.
but like I guess it's one way to get people in.
Yeah, and this is what I really like what Quibi is doing. So if you want to try out the streaming service for anyone everyone who's listening, they are offering a 90-day free trial for you to just binge all their shows, try what you want. It's not like a special offer that you have to, jump through all these hoops to obtain. It's literally just you just download the app onto your phone, and I'm pretty sure the offer just pops up as you're creating your account. So that's how why we've been reviewing this, and we wanted to give our 2 cents on the matter, our thoughts. So and I mean the pricing, do you think out of all the shows that we've been binging, do you think the price is at the right point for at least for an entry level for $5 per month?
I don't think I would have renewed if I were paying currently.
Honestly, same. Absolutely. Because I mean, and it gives you more of a reason to try it out because, oh, I have 90 days. Let's see what's on here. Let's see what I like. Let's see what works. And I think I like what they're doing. They're just letting people try the product out at first to see if they like it before obviously committing. But it gives you a longer time because a lot of these trials and subscriptions, I know, especially with like Hulu, it's only like 7 days.
Yeah.
And depending on your work schedule, what you have going on during the week, you might be able to sit down and try it out for like what, maybe like a day or two, like on the weekends, maybe the evenings if you don't have anything else going on. But 90 days is more than enough time, especially with the episodes being so short. Um, it kind of gives you that edge. But I wanted to ask you as well, because this is another point that I was thinking of, because since I mentioned to you earlier that I was binging Chrissy's Court because I didn't even start watching it till this morning. Do you think there is more of a fatigue going through all of these episodes, like back to back to back? Or like, do you feel like it's more easily digest that way, or to actually watch it daily as these new episodes come out?
I think I found it really easily to digest when there were 3 episodes available, but when there were like 7 or 8, I just kept kind of like looking to see how much were left. But
Yeah.
if there was one at a time or even 3 available, it felt like it went by really fast.
Yeah, I would agree there because I kept looking I was like, okay, I've been watching Survive. There's about like maybe 7, 8 episodes there. I think there's like 8 or 9 episodes of Chrissy's Court. But I literally watched them all back to back as soon as I like woke up because I didn't really have anything else to do. But it was it was a bit draining because you're like, okay, when is this going to go on? When is this going to end? Essentially, so that I can gather my final thoughts
And you
for
can't
this.
really
But
see like what time it's going to end because it's multiple videos, so you can't really see how much longer you have.
it's especially for the
Like on
movies, quote
YouTube, you can
unquote, in
always
chapters.
like on YouTube you can always see like the bar, like oh it's almost over, or oh time to stop watching.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, I'm not because they didn't really check to see if you can like kind of tap it, and then it'll show the progression bar at the bottom. But I mean, is that is are we able to do that or not? I don't even know. I have to
Yeah, you
check
can
on
see how
my
much
phone.
time in the current episode, but you can't see like if there's 8 episodes, you can't see
Oh,
how much
8
longer.
episodes left. Right, right. Okay, I see what you're saying. I got you. I got you. That makes a lot of more sense. But okay, so moving on to the user interface accessibility, I wanted to get your thoughts about this. Like, do you like just like do you think it's easy for you to navigate around? Is it user friendly? Is it idiot proof essentially? Because I mean, there's a lot of user interfaces out there, especially with like, I'm not sure if you checked out like the Xbox, like the newest interface for like the Xbox One X. I mean, it's kind of the same, but it is very difficult to like navigate around that user interface. But I wanted to get your thoughts first about for Quibi.
I didn't really see any issues with it. It seems like as of now on the for you section, they kind of just have every show that they have available if you keep
Mm,
swiping. I can see that becoming an issue in the future as they get more shows because it could just become too much and overwhelming. But currently, I don't really see any major issues.
Okay. Yeah, I would have to agree there. I think moving forward, they would have to either start categorizing these shows into like drama, comedies, things of that nature. But with all that quote unquote, I guess you could say informational stuff out of the way, what have you been watching, Devin? I figure we can kind of do little Quibi review, Quibi reviews of the shows we've been watching on our streaming review of Quibi. So lay it on
I
me.
have watched 4 Quibi series.
Mm, okay, which ones?
Punked, which we both watched.
Yes.
Most Dangerous Game.
Mm.
50 States of Fright. And today I watched a few episodes of I Promise,
I was
which
thinking about
is
starting that today,
the
but
LeBron
for
series
yeah,
about his
yeah, the LeBron
school.
series. I have been watching again, Punked, which is wow.
Interesting.
Very interesting. I thought about starting Thanks a Million before this, but then you had texted me saying, "Hey, do you want to record?" I'm like, you know what? Yeah, let's do it now because it's early in the morning. Why not on this fabulous Easter Sunday? I've also been watching Survive. All caught up for now on that show with Sophie Turner. And as I mentioned before, I've been binging Chrissy's Court because I don't know why. It's kind of like Judge Judy, but obviously she's not a real judge, but it is kind of funny, like with her reactions with, their quote unquote real court cases. And some of them are pretty believable, more believable than Punk's. But so I guess, did you want to just kind of, well, let's just talk about the shows that we both watch, which is Punked, and then we'll kind of get into the ones that we kind of ventured off with. So,
Punked.
Punk,
It's not great.
it's not.
I would say there were 2 or 3 like decent ones, and then the rest were just like not very good.
Yeah,
All the
and
car ones. There's so many car ones.
there's
It's
like
so
four or
stupid.
five.
Just
I
stop doing
know.
cars.
I was like, because
This
I
isn't
was,
a car show. What are you doing? Come on,
I was.
Chance.
This isn't Pimp My Ride, MTV.
That's what it felt like.
It
Every
really does.
episode at the end was about cars.
Right. So for those who don't know, I'm assuming everybody knows what Punked is. It's just kind of like an April Fool's type. They take celebrities and put them in weird situations, and at the end, oh, you got punked, whatever. But it is hosted by Chance the Rapper. Super great guy. We like I like his music a lot. It's just I would again have to agree with you here, Devin. I think there's like two. No, there's three episodes of Punked that I liked
Yeah, let me see which ones that I like. Let's pull it up.
because let's put it
The first one
pull it
with
up on the
Megan Thee Stallion was terrible. The terrible fake gorilla was not good.
Yeah,
The one with Liza Koshy was also terrible. She like caught on right away, and there was no
yeah.
stakes anyways.
The one with Adam Devine.
Yeah, that was the first car one. You were like that when we weren't
Yeah,
tired of cars yet, so that one was
right.
good.
The first of many car episodes, and
Lil Nas
then
X one was okay, not
that was just
really.
terrible.
He didn't have a
I didn't.
reaction.
He was like, I was like, dude, are you stoned? The one I think my favorite one is Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah, I like that Madison Ray one. Those are
Yeah, and
okay.
Madison Ray. Those, yeah, between Adam Devine,
And
Sabrina
then
Carter.
the car one, another car one, and then the one with the 2 kids from
was the
Blackish.
Ty Dolla $ign was the second car episode.
Yeah,
And
the
then
one with the 2 kids from Blackish was pretty good. The Ferris wheel.
Yeah, because it's like you actually brought kids into the fray, and they're like,
kind
oh
of a cool stunt.
Yeah, I know. He was holding that stuntman was holding on to that Ferris wheel like for oh my gosh, you had to have a lot of upper body strength for that.
Another car one.
French Montana was the third car one. And then Migos, it was literally 2 car episodes back to back. French Montana and then Migos Boom with Offset. Like okay, so that's 4 car episodes.
Out of 10.
Out of 10.
40%.
So almost more 40 more than almost more than half almost at the halfway point. They're probably going to do another car one. I get it. Like it's funny, but like it needs to be believable, especially for Punked, because this is a show that's been, I mean, it's been off air for a while, I think. Yeah, because oh my gosh, when was the last time that Punked aired? Um, Last time I remember it was Ashton Kutcher doing it. I don't know if anyone had taken the reins from him after. I don't know. I can't remember. It is, but yeah, it's not that good of a show.
It's very inconsistent.
It is very, very inconsistent, and you know, yeah, the one with Madison Ray, that was very funny. You know, with the girl trying to get as much TikTok and followers as her, and then her quote unquote mom comes in and it's like, if she makes money, I make money, and but the one with Sabrina Carpenter, I'm telling, she broke down. The rat infestation was perfect. You couldn't see anything, but I guess really quick for this quick review of Punks. What do you think of Chance's crew? Like, do you think that they're very believable? Because I know there's that same middle-aged, older white guy. Like, do you think people are going to start catching on? I feel like they are.
Yeah, I was actually gonna bring that up. I think that middle-aged white guy, I forgot his name, but I think he was actually pretty funny. He had a few
Yeah, I
good
thought he was
lines.
fun.
He's like, he said something about I'm not gonna go piss and ping pong back and forth here. He had
Yeah.
some weird line like that. He's pretty good off his feet with
Oh yeah,
the quick
absolutely.
lines.
Yeah. With Sabrina Carpenter, he was like, they don't call me like what, Big Q or Big M for nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, great. That was terrible. That was hysterical. But all right, so
Apparently,
moving
the
away.
original Punk lasted till 2015.
Did it really? Who's the host?
I have no idea.
I didn't know that it lasted that long because I knew, we had talked about, well, they had teased it coming back, but yeah, the last time I remember was Ashton Kutcher. But I mean, I don't know. Like, I get Chance he needs to mix it up. It needs to be a lot more believable situations. Yeah, with like material things, it's like, oh my God, where's my car? Where's my, I don't know. I mean, if people are out and about, the only thing you can really mess with them is like, material things. You can't like pull a prank and say, "Oh, you're bankrupt" or whatever have you. And this needs to be more, either more. You need to put more gullible um celebrities that they need to punk, or because what's her face with the bar mitzvah, she caught on like so quick
And
and just,
it didn't have any stakes anyway. She didn't do anything wrong.
yeah, that was with oh my gosh, what's her
Liza
name?
Koshy.
Yeah, yeah, with Liza. It's like I was like, okay, I don't see what she did wrong here, but Adam Devine was pissed
She did a good
when he,
job of keeping composure though.
yeah, because Migos and I mean French Montana did a pretty good job for his, but it always is kind of interesting to see. You see all these stars on TV, but like quote unquote, what are they really like? Like if you put them in these types of situations, and I guess that's what the show is trying to do. It's trying to get like an honest reaction out of them, but they just need to try harder. What else? You say you're watching the world's most dangerous game. So tell me a little bit about
Yeah,
that
I
one.
think that's like my favorite by far. It's just it's kind of like classic like Hunger Games type people getting hunted by other people.
Mm.
It's Liam Hemsworth, one of the Hemsworths, and Christoph
The other
Waltz is also in
Hemsworth.
it.
Yeah, yeah. I watched the first episode and then I got distracted watching. I think a new episode of Survive came out, and I just started watching that again because I just love Sophie Turner. But sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Yeah, it's just kind of interesting seeing. I like the story where basically they get people that don't really have anything to lose because this guy has cancer and he's gonna die in a couple months anyways, so he might as well try to go in this weird human hunting thing to make money for his family. So it kind of makes sense for him to try it. It's just interesting to see where it ends up.
Yeah, it kind of sounds. The stakes are high on all points because he has cancer, and like I said, I did watch the first episode, so I kind of know the premise a little bit. But obviously, you're way farther along than I am. But And that does sound interesting. I would like to at least there are a few more shows I want to check out here, especially since we have like a 90-day free trial. But I've been also been watching, like I said, Survive. Um, I'll just read. It's about a girl who was played by Sophie Turner. Her name is Jane. She wants to end it all. She's suicidal. Then there's a plane crash that happens. As she plans to end her life because she's in like this facility. Have you seen Short Term 12, the movie?
No.
Okay, so it's kind of just like I guess you could say a rehab facility for kids who are suicidal, thinking about harming themselves. She finally gets out of the facility and she's planning on coming home for I. It's either Thanksgiving or Christmas. It's one of the holidays, and she runs into this guy. I forgot the other actor's name, but he's pretty. Corey Hawkins, that's his name. Yeah, Corey Hawkins. She runs into him at the airport. They kind of get a little bit of a flirty vibe there, but uh, Jane steals like a bunch of pills from the rehab facility, and she plans on killing herself on her way home to Chicago for the holidays, like in midair. But the plane crashes in the middle of. They haven't even told us where they are. They're on this huge, like snowy white mountaintop, and they're trying to survive. So that's pretty much the premise there so far. They're trying to survive. No one's came looking for them. They're the only two passengers who survived the plane crash. So, which is actually freaking scary as hell. But it's pretty good. It has that tense, that drama, tenseness to it. I'm interested to see where it goes. But we'll kind of just see. It's. I mean, I think it's worth checking out, and they do have a lot of messages you know for people who are thinking about those types of suicidal thoughts or harming themselves. They always put that during the beginning and the end of episodes. So obviously trying to send that message out, which I think is very important. But so what else have you been watching besides the world's most dangerous game?
50 States of Fright, which is Sam Raimi's little anthology horror creation.
Hmm. Okay,
It's
okay.
basically every state has like these urban legends, and he takes one of them and creates an episode out of it. So the first one was Michigan, and apparently there's some story about this lady getting a golden arm and then haunting people with it.
A
It's
golden
it's
arm.
pretty corny.
I was
It's kind
like,
of
that
like
sounds awesome.
it's kind of like rated R Goosebumps. That's the best
Okay,
way
I
I
was
can
gonna ask,
describe
is it
it.
like right? I was gonna ask if it's like that one movie that came out not too long ago, Scary
Yeah,
Stories to Tell in
it's
the
like
Dark.
it's like that, but rated R.
Okay,
So
okay.
it does have some good gore and some good like effects and stuff, but the
Mm.
stories are like really cheesy.
I'll have to try it out. I mean, I've been for people who have first time listening to the show. I'm like a big scaredy cat when it comes to horror movies, but
I don't think these will be scaring you very much.
okay, well that's good. Well, I've been diving into it. I watched Us, Midsummer. I actually want to watch Midsummer again. I want to watch the extended version. And I'm just waiting for it to come out. Like, where can I find it? I want to watch it. I really do. But so all right. So you've been watching 50 States of Fright, and then World's Most Dangerous Game. I've also been watching. This is pretty much my last one. Chrissy's Court. We all know Chrissy Teigen. Excuse me. Wife of John Legend. He comes on the show a few times. It's supposedly, like I said, real court cases with real people, and she's not a judge, so it's kind of like, are these like real, or are these kind of like smaller claim court disputes? You know what I mean? Some of them, I mean, it's kind of interesting. The first one was kind of corny though. It was about this one guy and this shop owner. He's like super older guy, and the gentleman comes in to pick up for takeout, and he asks, I guess, the gentleman, the owner of the restaurant, was some kind of music, and the younger guy asked, "Hey, can you play some rap?" And he said, "We don't have rap here." And then the older guy, who owned the owner of the restaurant, like knocks accidentally knocks off one of his speakers and breaks it, and now he wants the younger guy to, or the defendant, I guess you could say, to pay for it. But it's kind of like it's all meant to be a joke. It's all comedy because Chrissy Teigen is really funny in this role, and her mom plays like the bailiff, but her mom is like hysterical. John Legend shows up for like I think 2 out of like the 8 episodes that are on there right now. So that's honestly not bad. But it is what it is. But I think it's kind of like Judge Judy, but modern times. A lot of the issues, there was a couple on there who was like actually screaming and yelling at each other. Like it got kind of serious for a second. But I believe they are more current real world problems that people are disputing in small claims court. But I think it's definitely worth a watch because it can get pretty funny at times, but it's all right. It's not too bad. But was there anything else you've been watching or no?
Yeah, I started the I Promise show today, and
That's right.
I mean, if you like LeBron like I do and think he's the best of all time, not Michael Jordan, um,
You heard it here
you'll definitely
first.
like it because it's pretty inspiring what he's been doing with his school
Mm,
he opened up in Akron, giving all these kids a better chance of actually advancing throughout school and not dropping out.
right. Okay. Yeah, this sounds pretty good.
I
But
want. Have you watched like? I guess one of the bigger things in the on the app is like the news section,
I have
which
not
is
checked out the
weird.
news section. I forgot to and there's also a docu-series section as well with well, I promise being one of them. So no, have you
I
checked
don't know
out
how I
the
feel
daily
about.
essentials? I think that's what they call them.
Yeah, it's a weird title for it. I don't know. I haven't watched any of it, but it just seems weird having like how they can keep up to date with the latest news.
A lot of these are every weekday. There's last night's late night, Daily Chill, Rachel Hollis show, Sexology with Shan Bordram, The Nod with Brittany and Eric, and so on and so forth. Fr- Fresh Daily by Rotten Tomatoes, is that on there yet? I wonder if that's something that. Oh, it says April 6th, 2020, so it must be on there. I'll have to check that out. Fresh Daily by Rotten Tomatoes, and
Well,
then
there's
all
not
the
much to talk
fields.
about nowadays for them.
Yeah, everything's delayed.
Trolls World Tour. That's it.
Oh yeah, that came out. Is that on video on demand to rent or is that to buy? I think it's to rent. In which case, I will not be renting.
I would hope not.
No, I haven't even seen the first troll, so I really don't know what this is supposed to be all about. I do appreciate that they're trying to get these movies that are ready to be viewed and seen by the public out to people, whether you know it's to buy or to rent. So that's pretty cool. But I'm pretty sure that does for the meat and potatoes of this review. But I just said I had a few questions that I jotted down here. We kind of covered a few of them between like the price, is the price worth it, and what you should be watching on Quibi. So we kind of gave our thoughts about that already. There are a few other shows I would definitely like to try out. Thanks a Million is one of them, but I feel like that's just going to be the same thing over and over, just different people, different problems, and you know, celebrities coming in to save the day and giving their own money to people in need, which is something I pretty much experience like at my church. They do this thing called like the dollar club where everyone gives $1 towards someone in need. It's literally the same thing. So I'll check it out for sure. But so what would you say your favorite show out of everything that you're watching right now?
Most dangerous game, definitely.
Okay. Okay. I'll definitely have to check that out, like I said before. For me, um, It would be it would be Survive. For me, just because I mean, I'm a big Sophie Turner fan. Her American accent is better in this than it is in let's say the X-Men movies, but I do still prefer her her original or her natural accent, that being from the UK. But it's pretty good. I do like it. I don't know if it's something that I'll go back and watch, but it's definitely worth at least one watch through. But what would you my for me, I guess since for now that we've gone over favorite shows, least favorite shows for me, I would have to say I would have to say Punked. It just isn't
Yeah,
that good.
me too. I think even thinking back on it, the first episode all took place in a car, so I would consider that also a car episode. So
Oh yeah, it did.
that's half
What
of the episodes.
was that with the gorilla and
Yeah,
what's her face? I forgot
Megan
her
the
name.
Stallion just
Yeah.
hiding in the car the whole time, looking like a terrible person. Didn't help that guy that was running
I
around.
know. He tried to get in the car. She's like, "Don't come in here." I'm like, "What are you
It
doing?"
made
I'm
her
like,
look
"What if
terrible.
Right. I'm like, "What if this was a real world situation?" Like, there's tigers out in Utah and Oklahoma and whatnot with Tiger King. There could be gorillas out there too. People can have pet
But
gorillas.
yeah, that's 50% car episodes. That is just make Pimp My Ride. Just bring that back instead.
Just bring back Pimp My
What's
Ride.
Exhibit doing nowadays?
Jesus, man. God, I haven't. Oh my gosh, exhibits. Well, yeah, I was gonna say just like you, if it feels like they just wanted to make a Pimp My Ride show, so just make that instead. You can easily do that within 10 minutes. Like it's so simple. But I mean, it is what it is. But so, any disadvantages, advantages to the service? I mean, I know we've kind of talked about the mobility aspect, but I guess more of the disadvantages. Do you think there are any disadvantages that could keep this streaming service out of the race?
It just feels like their lack of like focus on storytelling is going to become a disadvantage because these shows don't have much substance at all. They're focusing
Yeah.
more on the celebrities.
Yeah, and I would agree there as well. I will say one thing that I like that Apple TV is doing. Yes, they do have a lot of star power, but I did end up watching at least some more episodes of the morning show. It is very good. I mean, the story, they have a lot of star power in that show. Even with Dickinson, I'm still waiting for season two. I got I'm just waiting for season two for Dickinson. I love that show so much. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just a big Haley Steinfeld fan and I like period pieces. So there you go. But for the morning show, it's very good. I like it a lot. I'm surprised a lot more people aren't talking about it. But even with Netflix, they've been doing a lot more, having a lot more movies with star power. We had The Irishman, and we had Marriage Story as well, and those are both very, very good. Both on their streaming platforms. Unlike Spencer Confidential,
Coffee
Ugh,
and cream.
Coffee and Cream. Maybe what Extraction. Hopefully that'll be a little bit better with Chris Hemsworth. But you're starting to see a little bit of a trend that they're starting to get more bigger actors. They're obviously always looking for work. Um, to watch these bigger movies, even with that one movie with Sandra Bullock, Netflix. My gosh, you know what I'm talking about. Bird Box, that was it.
Oh yeah.
But like Bird Box, it was pretty good. It was better than Bright, and I will run that movie through the mud until the day I die. That movie was just god awful. But Will Smith, we love him to death, but wow. But I do agree with you. Hopefully, they can keep this up and maybe have more up and coming actors and actresses on the rise on these shows instead of who's what's popular and whatnot. But I guess at the same time, when these celebrities are going into these contracts, it's I feel like there isn't a lot of I guess you can say dedication or not dedication, but a lot of it's not very time consuming because especially for punks, they might be on it for like a show and you never see them again. But maybe for like the movies that are put into chapters, which is essentially just like a book, whatever, it might be a little bit more difficult. But let's get into our final grade and thoughts about this. So as of right now, what would you rate Quibi out of 100?
Yeah, I think earlier we both mentioned that we would not renew if we were currently paying, which I definitely stand by. I just think at the end of the day, I'd rather just watch YouTube for free and
Yeah.
get like similar content. It also reminds me of Let Me Explain mentioning YouTube Red, which was their failed like little service subscription to get weird shows that they were making. Kind of feels like that, and that's not a
Yeah.
good sign for Quibi because
It's
no one
not.
really cares about having to pay to watch stuff instead of just watching creators create stuff for free on YouTube.
Yeah. And if you want to support them, they have Patreon set up. You want to support them on Twitch, they have that set up there and what have you. Especially being like sponsors on YouTube, and they already have that program in place. So yeah, I would definitely have to agree there. It is very yeah, it's rich people's it's I mean, let me explain, said it best. It is rich people's YouTube. It is very I mean, I think it's an interesting concept. I don't know if it's going to be as big as HBO because I mean, why would I? And I don't know. Dude. It's just it's not that it's. I mean, I need to spend more time with it, but at the same time, they really need to give people a reason to stick around when it comes to this type of content because we've never really seen this in a paid form before. And I mean, our podcasts go up on YouTube as well, but it's I mean, it's cool. I don't think it'll. If they want it to stay, stick around, they'll definitely have to change their whole business model because it's. I mean, there are some enjoyable moments of it, but I mean, for the ad price, it's like $8, and what we both pay for Hulu, and that's like what $6. Like, yeah, there's ads, but there's so much more content on there, and I can just watch it. And like we said with YouTube, there's just so much free stuff on there that doesn't require anything. And these types of shows can easily go on to something like YouTube Red. But Google themselves, they Google has so many like as big as they are, they have so many failed experiments. Like, do you remember Google Plus? It was
Yeah,
supposed to be like,
unfortunately.
yeah, it was supposed to be like their version of Facebook. That tanked. We have Google Stadia that's out right now for gaming. That's not doing so well. I believe you get like a month or two for free for people trying that out. It's just not working. Same thing with like you said with YouTube Red. It's just not working for them. For Google at least. I think they need to, stick to the free content. If people want to support, let them support and just generate money that way. But did you have
Yeah,
any other final? Sorry, did you have any other final thoughts?
I think I'm gonna give it 65 Quibbies out of 100
Okay,
because there are
okay.
there are some positives. Like the app is really well made and easy to
Mm,
use. There's
looks nice and clean.
yeah, shows are very inconsistent, like we've mentioned.
Yeah. All
I
right.
don't
So
know.
six.
It's just weird. Something feels off whenever you're watching something. It just feels like it's just slightly off.
I would agree with you there. I've so so Devin's gonna give it 65 out of 100. I'm actually gonna go lower and give it a 55 out of
Oh,
100. Like I would probably never tune into Quibi again after this 90 free day trial. Like I'll watch what I want to watch on there for now, and then just I mean I can give two shits about Punked like until they step up their game because I don't know. I mean it's hard
if we
to
see one more car, it's over.
yeah, we see one more car episode, we're done. And it's like, Chance, I didn't know you wanted to make a pimp my ride. But yeah, so 65 out of 100 from Devin and 55 out of 100 from me. It's just not really doing it. We'll see if they step up their game. I don't know, let's say 6 months from now. But we do have HBO Max, which is coming out fairly soon next month. We don't know the exact date, but I'm definitely interested to see what they have to offer. And you bet your ass we'll be reviewing it as well. So but I believe that pretty much does it for our Quibi review. We're going on a full hour talking about this amazing streaming platform. But for everyone out there who is listening, thank you for listening. And again, you can listen to our content on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, Google Music, excuse me, Anchor, Podbean, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio. I don't know what we're going to be reviewing next, to be completely honest. Maybe you want to do a dedicated. I mean, we started with the Tiger King. We might as well finish it off. Well, maybe that can be like a little bonus episode or something.
Doesn't that
But
animated movie come out on Netflix?
what was it called? Oh my gosh.
I forgot what it's called.
It's called this. It's like that family episode, that family movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to figure it out. Oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of it, but I know exactly what you're talking about. So whatever it's called, like the Willoughbys or something like that. I can't remember, but that might be our next review that we do. As always, make sure to check out um, our latest news review. We talk about the PlayStation 5. We talk about Ezra Miller force choking one of his fans, and a lot more. We had a lot of fun on that episode. But I believe that does it for this review. And as always, Devin, thank you for coming on and reviewing with me. And for everyone listening, give us a rating on the respective platforms that I mentioned earlier, especially iTunes or Apple Podcasts, whatever you want to call it. We really just want to get some feedback to see what we could be doing to enhance the experience for you guys. And happy Easter as well to everyone out there who is having a nice Sunday indoors or whether you are at work. But we will catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.